Welcome back to
Real democracy versus the illusion of democracy.
Unit 3, Representative Democracy versus Real Democracy. The problem with today's democracies is that they do not provide all of the people with an opportunity to participate equally in the decision-making processes of society. Take, for example, representative democracy, wherein an extremely small minority of the population, usually from the wealthy class, make the rules and the laws for all of society. They decide which history books we study in school, how long we have to stay in school, when to fight in wars, who is allowed to travel, and even which chemicals are allowed in our food. Perhaps in the days of horse travel and printed news, this form of democracy made sense because people did not have the technology to access information, and it was not possible to include all of the people's voices in all of the decision-making processes. Nowadays, however, we do have the technology, which gives us the ability to provide all of the people with the opportunity to participate equally in as many or as few of the decision-making processes as they are able. Imagine how different things would be if we human beings took back our power from the elite and began making our own decisions. Think about where you personally might get involved in changing things. Would you still allow 1% of the global population to have and control 50% of the global wealth, the land, and the resources? I wouldn't allow it, and I don't think that the majority of humanity would either. Yet this is how it currently is based on the current design of our democratic systems. Not to worry though, because a mass awakening is occurring, and with this awakening comes opportunity to stand up and become the change that you would care to see everywhere. Real democracy is simply a form of collective group decision-making wherein the degree of democracy expressed is equivalent to the degree by which all members of the collective have the opportunity to participate equally in all of the decision-making processes that affect the collective. For example, let's say there are 10 members in a collective, wherein 100 relevant decisions are made each year. If all 10 members of the collective have the opportunity to participate equally in all of the 100 decision-making processes, then we would say that their democracy is a pure or real democracy. Why? Because it is functioning at 100% of its potential. In other words, regardless of how big the community is, as long as all of its members have the opportunity to participate equally in all of the decision-making processes, then that is considered a real democracy because 100% of the people have the opportunity to participate in 100% of the decision-making processes. It's like truth. Anything less than 100% is not actually the truth, but a fraction of a lie. Thus it is that real democracy is also a collective expression of real equality. wherein all members of the collective have the opportunity to participate equally in any and all of the decision-making processes that affect the collective. Consequently, if 99% of the members of the collective are only permitted to participate in one or two of the decision-making processes every 2 to 4 years, as is the case with most representative democracies around the world, then it would be incorrect to say that those democracies are real or true, simply because the decision-making opportunities do not apply equally to all members of the collective. Remember, for something to be true or real, it must apply equally to all. Now, here are some questions for you to consider. In a pure, real, or true democracy, do you think children would be offered the same opportunity as everyone else to participate equally in the decision-making processes? Why or why not? Number 2, who do you think should be allowed to determine when and if one is eligible or qualified to participate in the decision-making processes of society? Why? Number 3, why do you think in today's democracies an extremely small minority, the 1%, are still making most of the important decisions for the majority of society? Number 4, how do you think we could use modern technology to improve people's participation in democracy? Number 5, what are the conditions for something to be true?